Hey, Becoming Me. I am so excited to introduce you to my friend Marcus. Marcus, welcome to BecomingMe.TV.
What is happening? Thanks for having me. I'm so pumped to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on. I mean, you have a dynamic story. I've had the privilege of getting to know you the last several months, and watching what God is doing in and through you is inspiring to me, and I'm excited for people to just get to know you.
Oh,
So,
yes.
yeah, it's going to be super fun. And I do have to give a side note because y'all will hear all the amazing things that Marcus does, but I want you to follow one Instagram account in particular. He has a barbecue account that literally makes me want to eat barbecue every time he posts something. So I'll have the link for that for sure in the show notes so you guys can check it out. But that's one fun fact. And I'm diving in before you even introduced yourself. So let's dive in. Like with the most challenging question of the day, who is Marcus?
Marcus is me. I am Marcus Grimaldi from Atlanta, Georgia. I am the youngest of four. I have two sisters and a brother, Nikki, Allie, and Roman. And then my mom and dad, Al and Carolyn. Everybody now lives in Georgia again. I grew up in Atlanta. I was born in New York. My other siblings were born in Florida, but we've been here like our whole lives. And my sister Nikki just moved back with her family from Southern California. So now everybody's back together. And I think my brother-in-law is a little bit overwhelmed with how close we are as a family. So if he's watching, Mike, this one's for you. So, but yeah, that's me.
I love it. That's really cool. So I got to ask before we dive into your story, share with everybody how your love for barbecue started, since I gave everybody this teaser, and that has nothing really to do with where he's going to go in his story, y'all, but we got to hear.
Oh yeah. So a few years ago, we were trying to figure out what to buy my dad for Father's Day. I was like, let's get him something different. Like, man, I got to get him something different. So bought him a smoker, and turns out I'm the only one who uses it ever. And I just kind of ran into an unknown love of cooking barbecue. And it's really like the whole process that I like. It's not necessarily eating it, even though I love eating it, but I love the whole staying up all night to cook it. I make my own rubs, and then it takes 18 hours to cook a brisket, and then watching everybody eat it and enjoy it is really awesome to me. My love language is words of affirmation. So I'm like, you like it? You like it? You like it? So I think seeing that really fills me up. So I fell in love with it. I had a grease fire once in the smoker, and I'm using a Traeger right now, and they sent me a whole new smoker for free, and we're like, we'll pick up the other one, but never picked it up. So now I have two smokers that work perfectly fine. So now I have big, huge cooks when people come over. So it's even more special.
I love that. That's a cool story too. That's awesome. Speaking of stories, we all have a story. We're all becoming who God made us to be. And I would love for you to just take some time and unpack your journey. Like, what has brought you to where you are right now?
Oh man, I don't know if you're ready for this.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So should I just start like way at the beginning? Let's just do this.
Let's do it.
I grew up in an athletic family. So baseball family. My dad played baseball in college. Both my brother and I played baseball in college. But at the same time, when I was a kid, I begged my parents for a drum set for forever. I got my first like little kid's drum set when I was 2 or 3, and we have videos of me playing to Elvis and like spot on with it. There's no YouTube back in the day, so I would have been way viral. But I battled my whole life with music or baseball. I'm the only person in my entire family that plays music. I play 7 instruments, all self-taught, all by ear. I can't read music. I don't understand music theory at all. I've tried. I've taken like 5 classes of study. It just doesn't click with me. It's just a natural thing where I can pick up any instrument, and within 30 minutes, I can play something. And my whole life, I battled with, do I do music or do I do baseball? Because baseball was really like my first love, and I wanted to be a professional baseball player. And just kind of got to the point where I could only do baseball for so long in my life, and I could always do music no matter what happens. So I pursued baseball, got a full scholarship coming out of high school. I played JUCO baseball at Tallahassee Community College, and then I got another scholarship at Liberty University. And I was just plagued with injuries at Liberty University. I had a hernia. I had two AC joint separations. It was just a mess. So I really felt like that was God telling me, you got to do music. You know, music's your thing. I gifted you with these things, and you got to go for it. So I went to Middle Tennessee State from there, and I wanted to go into their recording industry program. They have one of the best in the world, and they only accept 40 kids into the program.
Wow.
And I got in and just fell in love with the other side of the glass, if you will. I love playing drums and doing all this stuff, but being in front of large format consoles and working with analog tape and musicians, it just blew my mind so much that my teachers had to tell me to let somebody else sit in the front row because I was just blown away. So after I graduated, and it was cool too, because my teachers were legit. And there weren't just some Joe Schmo who's good at audio. One of my teachers was Michael Jackson's producer. The other one won his 6th Grammy when he was my teacher. It was just like real working individuals that are still working on big things. I had a session canceled with my critical listening teacher because he had a session with Keith Urban that night, and he wanted to record at the school's Studio B at the time. And so I was like, okay, this is mind blowing. He didn't let me sit on the session, but you know, they're working with big people, and I can pick their brains about all this stuff. So I ended up winning the best project with my school partner at the school. We had the best mixing project. And then I graduated. I came down to intern at North Point Community Church on the sound team. And really everything kind of unfolds from there. I'll touch on it a little bit later, but I recently connected all the dots of this huge journey like 2 weeks ago. That blew my mind. So I opened up Next Level Recording in 2013, and now it's 2021, and I own this spot now, and it's been crazy.
Wow. Okay. So now I am so intrigued. What happened 2 weeks ago, and how did you connect the dots? Like, do share.
Okay. So music and chasing your dreams is a grind. Okay. The music industry is this ruthless animal that you don't even know how many heads it has. It's just all over the place, and most people give up in it, which I almost did. So I've had Next Level Recording since 2013, and it's been kind of on and off. You know, I'd had certain, like, a real job here and there, another real job here and there, but I always kind of come back to music. So 2 weeks ago, actually, let's go back like a month ago. I almost completely walked away from music. I literally was shutting down the studio, and I was done. I was done working on music. I've been on the grind for so long, and you know, I've worked with amazing artists, but I haven't had that break. You know, I see these people who are, I don't want to say under me, but who don't have the experience level as I do, and they're like exploding in their careers, and I'm over here like, okay, well, I can work on large analog format consoles with analog tape, do all this stuff. I can make your song sound awesome, but like nothing ever catches on. So I'm like, man, it's crazy. So a month ago, I'm gonna shut it down. And then one of the songs that I worked on for a company that I own called Maple House Sessions, and we'll talk about this in full later. It exploded because the artist Nightbird, her name is Jane. She was on America's Got Talent, and she has cancer and is a 3-time cancer survivor and has a 2% chance of living. She got Simon Cowell's Golden Buzzer, and the song that I did skyrocketed to #1 in the world on iTunes, just like everywhere. It was #1 in 5 countries, and it was on basically every single iTunes chart in the world, and like countries that didn't even have English translations for their names. It was just craziness. So I had this moment of giving up. I joined a new real estate team. I was praying about it. I was like, I need to do something. So felt like God was telling me to join this real estate team. But now I look at it as maybe it was him saying, okay, just follow me, and then I got you. But I didn't realize it. So I'm like giving up on this dream. I joined this real estate team, and I think it was him saying like, okay, you listen to me, and then I'm going to bless you now. And it changed my life completely. And now I can always say the rest of my life that I mixed the number one song. And it's just mind blowing. And so now I'm here, I'm trying to figure out like what to do now. Because like, obviously I've been brought back to music again when I was on the verge of walking away. And it's just been the craziest ride. I mean, the artists that we knocked out of the number one spot, we exchanged phone numbers that day. And he called me on the phone and was like asking me questions and wants to collaborate. And well, it's just been this crazy ride. So that was the last month, but like there's so many more dots that are in there that I haven't touched on yet.
Wow, that's incredible. And I think it is so cool to see how, like you mentioned, you keep coming, God keeps drawing you back to music. So this thing, this dream that you're almost every time like, hey, I'm just gonna be done. I'm gonna give up. He doesn't let you give up on it. Like he
Yeah.
brings you right back to it, which is
Why?
incredible. And I think like all of us, no matter if you watching your dream is music or it's sports or you want to write a book, like whatever your dream is, I think we all have found ourselves in your spot, Marcus, where we feel like we're going to give up, but we don't know that maybe that breakthrough is on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
it's
all.
crazy. So, okay, I have a question. Do you drink coffee? Refresh my memory because I can't
No.
remember. You're not a coffee drinker. Okay,
No.
you drink tea?
No. I wake up with energy and I'm ready to go.
So, but you drink water.
I drink water.
Okay, so if you're having a cup of water with someone else on their own becoming journey and you're just trying to encourage them, fill their tank, get them to not give up on their own dream, like what would you say to encourage them?
Just keep going. I literally had a dream come true. That doesn't happen to everybody. Like, I had some guy at the real estate conference that I was at when all this went down say he told his family that I was in the same room whose dream came true with somebody whose dream came true. And I was like, stab me in the heart, rip it open. Like, that was one of the coolest things I've ever heard from anybody. But just keep going. I know, I struggle even now, even after it is struggling. The enemy wants to, pull you and bring you down still. But just keep going. You always hear from people who are in their 90s on their deathbed, like, what would you do differently? And every single person says, do what you love to do.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I love to make music and make it sound awesome. I'm a mixing and mastering engineer. So most of the time people send me already recorded material and it's my job to make sound awesome. So I would definitely encourage, just don't give up. I know it's hard, but um I was talking with, I can't remember, it might have even been Jane. Like, the things that take the longest in the Bible have the greatest reward at the end. So I'm like,
So,
okay, look at Moses in the desert. 40 years. Imagine like trying to figure something out for 40 years.
mhm.
I mean, how discouraging that would be. So my story, is really my whole life, but in music, the last decade, which doesn't seem long, but it's long because there's so many ups and downs, and you hit low moments and high moments, and then you know you're like, I don't understand the journey I'm on. Like, I'm being patient, I'm trying to do the right thing. All these wicked people around me are like dominating this thing we call life, and I'm over here like, okay, well, I guess we'll just keep doing this. But now that everything happened, I see all the dots, dotted and the T's crossed, and it's just like, wow. So definitely tell people to keep at it, especially if it's what you love to do. And if you're at a point where you want to walk away, just take a break.
Mhm.
Evan and I, he's the co-founder of Maple House Sessions. We were getting burnt out like 3 months ago. In last August, we recorded 48 songs in 5 days. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
48 songs. So having to do all the videos and mix all the stuff, it's like, oh my gosh. So we took like 3 months off. We're like, we got to take a break. So I would definitely tell people, just keep trucking, keep doing it, drink your water,
Yes.
and
Water.
and keep going.
I love that. And it sounds too like you even have a new appreciation for your journey looking back that you didn't see or realize at the time. And when you talked about like even all the stories in the Bible and Moses, could you imagine if year 39 they would have just given up? Like they
Yeah.
would have totally missed the promised land. And so
Right.
a month ago you would have just left everything. Oh my goodness, your dream, like it was right here and it happened. Like
Yeah.
that's amazing. So
So
I
crazy.
yeah, and this is so encouraging for all of us. Like, hey, if somebody's watching this story right now and they're like, "Man, I got to connect with Marcus." First, I definitely want to follow the barbecue account. Second, I
Yes.
want to check out all of like your businesses, listen to your music, all the things. Where can people connect with you online?
Yeah. So I have Next Level Recording on Instagram. It's at Next Level Recording. The website's nextlevelrecording.com. And you can connect with me on either. I'm always on either. If you send me a contact request on the website, I'll get back to you. If you send me a message, I'll get back to you. And then there's Maple House Sessions. So Maple House Sessions is a combination of Next Level Recording, and then Evan Collazo, he's my business partner. His company EC Creative Co. They do film and media production. He also does audio production as well, and we combined businesses to create Maple House Sessions. So Facebook too, and on Instagram, it's Maple House Sessions. You can see all of our stuff though on YouTube at Maple House Sessions on YouTube, and I think we got like 77 videos, and it's basically all live performed, stripped down performances from amazing musical artists. I mean, we have the runner-up of American Idol, we have Nightbird, we have so many amazing people on there, and we cinematically film and record them and then release them to the world. So you could totally check them out. We're pushing 40,000 followers, so you should go subscribe.
That's awesome. And we will have all the links in the show notes so you can go easily subscribe. Let's get those numbers up. That would be amazing. Marcus, thank you so much for sharing your story, who you are, who you're becoming. And I'm just cheering you on big time.
Oh, yes, it was awesome.